Pretigaya, please introduce yourself fully and tell us about your work, and please tell us a story.
Thank you, Eric. Hello, everybody. I'm Pretigaya Haran. I share stories. I share stories to kids, adults, anybody who wants to listen. And a lot of times I share stories because I just want to share them. And so I think I'll jump into my story right away. Benares was ruled over by King Brahmadatta. Each morning, the king and the queen would go for a stroll in the sprawling royal gardens, and they would talk and discuss about everything regarding the state. But then, the minute Brahmadatta came to the tree, he would just stand in absolute silence. He would look at the tree, admiring it. He would say, wow, isn't the star blossom tree the most magnificent ever? Isn't it the tallest and the strongest and the best tree? Look at its flowers. Aren't they unique? Its leaves, such different a shade. Its branches going so high up in the sky as if the sun might get caught in it someday. And its roots, I'm sure, go so deep, right to the middle of the earth. The queen would just nod her head or ignore him completely, because this happened every single time. Whenever Brahmadatta came and saw the star blossom tree, it was as if nothing else mattered to him. He could not see the bright colors of the hibiscus flower. He could not smell the sweet smell of the jasmine flowers. It was as if the butterflies, the colorful butterflies, he didn't notice them. The kusha grass that grew right under the tree, he didn't see them. And for the chameleons that darted in and out, they did not even exist for the king. As the sun would rise over the Benares sky, the whole city would be gleaming with joy. The river Ganga would shimmer in that sunlight. The bells of the temple would shine. The shops, the marketplace, everything would sparkle and gleam. And for the king, he would sit in his throne along with his courtiers and ministers and take all important decisions. On one such day, while Brahmadatta sat in this throne room, suddenly something white came and settled on his nose. It was just white and crumbly dust, and soon the whole throne seemed to be covered with these flaky, crumbly dust that came down. The people looked up and there was a loud noise. When they saw it, they could see a crack that appeared right through the throne room. It's an earthquake! Run away! The people started running helter-skelter. Oh, stop! Don't panic, called out Brahmadatta. Looks like it's just the plaster from the ceiling coming off. Call the royal builder. The royal builder was summoned. He looked up at the ceiling and then he said, Your Majesty, the beam which supports the throne room looks like it's cracked completely. It'll have to be replaced. Okay then, get it done. And men were sent on horsebacks all across Benares to look for the strongest and tallest tree so that they could use the log, the trunk. They went to all the forests, the gardens, the woodlands around Benares, and they all came back by the evening with the sad news that not a single tree was fit for this. Or was there? Finally, the builder went up to the king and he said, Your Majesty, we have sent men all across Benares. We've seen everywhere. There's not a single tree strong enough, long enough, tall enough to replace this beam. But what? Out with it. But for the star blossom tree. Brahmadat was aghast when he heard the name Star Blossom Tree. No, 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 no. The Star Blossom Tree cannot be cut. Definitely not. I know what we can do. Let's just raise down the whole throne room and build a new one. Yes, that's what we'll do. One of the wise old ministers, he dared to get up, went up to the king and he said, Your Majesty, this throne room was built by your forefathers. This is where all important decisions regarding the kingdom have been taken. It stands for the honor of your family. May not be a good idea to raise it down. All the courtiers murmured their agreement. Brahmadat did not have a choice. He had to agree to it. And he said, all right, get the axemen to cut down the Star Blossom Tree before dawn tomorrow morning. With a very heavy heart, he just went and retired to his room. He stayed there all day. He didn't have the heart or the soul or the mind to talk about anything else, to discuss or take any more decisions. It was as if the whole of Benares had gone quiet. The temple chimes, bells did not chime. The river Ganga did not sparkle. The whole marketplace was very dull and sad that day. As night fell and it grew dark, whole of Benares fell asleep with only the moonlight shining. Suddenly, the royal garden came abuzz with life. All the tree spirits had heard the sad news and they went up to the Star Blossom Tree. How could this happen? Surely you're the favorite tree. The king couldn't have ordered this. It's so hard to believe. Is there nothing we can do? Is there some way we can save you? They racked their brains, they talked and they spoke and they discussed, but they could not come up with any idea, any solution to save the tree. They all gave up, bid their farewell, and went back to their trees. That's when the spirit of the kusha grass that grew right under the Star Blossom Tree said, Star Blossom Tree, I think, can I suggest something? Of course. And then the first smile broke on the Star Blossom Tree's face for the whole day. My dear friend, my little friend, this might just do the trick, he said. In a few hours, just before dawn, 2 axemen came up to the tree with their wicked axes shining and gleaming in the moonlight. They had to touch and see the tree, feel the trunk to know where exactly to start cutting it. One of them touched the tree and immediately pulled it back. Oh, this is all gooey here. Looks like the trunk is a little rotten here. The other axeman tried another part. Again, he touched and he took it back. Oh, it's soft here as well. In fact, it's all gray and patchy. He peered into the darkness and he looked very carefully. They looked all around the tree trunk and it was the same thing everywhere. Dark, gray, patchy, soft and gooey. Oh dear, the Star Blossom Tree has rotted overnight. They had to go back and tell this to the king. The minute Brahmadat heard this, he was so happy. Oh, that is good news. So the Star Blossom Tree lives on. I will find the best tree doctors to heal my tree. And for the throne room, maybe you can go and look for some big, tall, strong branches from different trees, bind them together and then use it. But Your Majesty, that will be a lot of work, complained the builder. So be it. It's better any day than to cut down the whole tree. The king was very happy that day. He took all the necessary decisions. And when it was night, and dark, and once again the whole of Benares had gone asleep. The king decided to go and spend some time with the star blossom tree. He went out for a stroll all by himself into the garden. As he came closer to the tree, he heard some rustling, some whispering, some talking. He just stopped where he was and tried and listened very carefully. How did you manage to save yourself? Did you rot overnight? Are you okay? But how is that possible? The king heard all the tree spirits talking and discussing among themselves. I'll tell you what happened, the spirit of the star blossom tree said. Clop, 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 clop. All the chameleons that had stuck up the tree trunk darted down onto the kusha grass. You see, my dear friends, this little kusha grass, he had an idea to save me. He got his friends, the chameleons, to cover me completely and change their color to patchy gray. That is how I rotted overnight, and that is how I healed. The king went back. The next morning, when he came for a stroll with the queen was completely surprised that the king was not looking at the tree anymore. He was looking down at the kusha grass and the chameleons that were darting in and out. That story is called The Star Blossom Tree. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wonderful story. Anyone have any thoughts, comments, resonations?
The way you use the screen and the whispering and the glee and you took advantage of the Zoom and made it your own and shared with us, so we were interested. Oh, what did she? Like that was very nice. And even the theme of the story being that the smallest, like the king looks and sees the small, the insignificant, and looks at them differently. That it's one of those transformative kind of stories, which always leaves a person feeling good, because we're so small in the scope of the big universe. So it's nice to know.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you for sharing that.
Hi, Pratigya. This is Reena. Hi. I loved your story. I loved your telling also, especially that I really like that. And I sincerely feel we need such stories of saving trees. It's really beautiful story of nature coming together to save itself. So thank you for sharing that. Congrats.
Thanks a lot, Leena.
Hi, Pratigya. This is Devjani.
Hi, Dev.
Hi, Prati. So this, I totally resonate with this kusha grass. Yes, you need not be a tree also to, as before this, Eric was talking about tree and that moved me so much. And then now when you are talking about this grass giving this advice to the tree, so it just gives me that it's not only the tree, like a tiny grass also can have that healing power and that force, that life force. So thank you for the story.
Thanks, Dev. I think that is the one which attracted me the most to the story, saying the chameleons which did not exist at all for the king and how they really did the trick. So
yes,
resonated the most with me as well.
yeah.
Pratigya, lastly, I would like to say it was lovely telling, and the whispering, I wish if I could hear the whispering. So wonderful telling, and we enjoyed as always. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheetal. Thanks a lot. Thank you, kind words.
Prati Ambu here. I'm sorry I couldn't switch on the video now.
Yes.
I enjoyed that part, especially where the king decides, okay, take the branches from the other trees, not actually mentioning like, go search for another tree. So that kind of brought out the real positivity, you know, I mean, that felt very good. So again, yeah, the chameleons part also, I too could resonate with it. And it was very interesting to listen to the story. Thank you, Prati.
Thank you, Ambi.
Marina, did you want to say something? You're on mute. Nope, you're still on mute.
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Pretigaya. It seems the tree has become the image of the day.
It has, yes. I missed the workshop, but I just the last 10 minutes and I was like, oh, I like this connect.
Great. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.